Hello everyone, my name is Kishan and welcome to this video tutorial. In the previous videos we have seen how we can create a connection to Oracle database, create a table and insert few records. In this video we will see how we can use the fetch methods to extract data from the table. So say suppose you want to select some data and then work on that data in your Python script. So how will we do that? So there are three methods to extract data from a table. The first one would be the fetch one. In this method, as the name suggests, it extracts just one record. If a query is returning thousands of records, and if you use fetch one, it will just get the first record. The second is fetch all. Now this is the simplest of all. We'll start with this. So in this fetch all method, it just basically retrieves all of the data that the select statement satisfies. And the third one is fetch many. Now fetch many takes an integer input and basically fetch many would just return the number of rows that you ask it to return. So if I say fetch many 3, so it will just return 3 records, no matter if your select statement has returned hundreds of records. We'll see the practical implementations of all of these methods in a minute. So I'll just hop onto my Visual Studio Code, and over here in the previous example that we saw was with execute many, where we inserted many records. So I'll just start it from the beginning and write the code again. So I'll just create a file, and here we'll use the fetchall method. So I'll call the file fetchall example.py. So the first thing you need to do is you need to import the required module. So it will be import cx_oracle. Once imported, the next thing you need to do is you need to create a connection. So I'll do it in a try except catch block. So try, do something. If it doesn't work, accept it in an exception block. And if everything goes fine, go into the else block, and then the finally block is always executed. So in the try block, if you want to learn more in detail about how try except else finally works in Python, I've created a special video for it. Please do watch it. So first of all, we'll try and create a connection. So it is connection is equal to cx_oracle dot connect method, and here I'll pass in the database string. Oh, so mine is hr/hr @localhost, because the database is installed in the very PC that I'm using over here. The port by default is 1521, and the SID, that is ORCL in my case. So if everything has went fine, I'll go into the else block, but before that, let me print out if an exception is raised. Exception occurred while trying to create a connection. And this is the error message. If everything is went fine, I'll just have another try catch block here. Try except exception as error. Otherwise, I'll have an else and a finally block here as well. And if everything is went fine, at the end I would like to close the connection. So I'll just give connection.close here. Now in this try block, first of all, what I need to do is I need to extract some data. So I'll need to have a cursor to do that. So cursor is equal to connection dot cursor. So once the cursor is there, I'll use the cursor with the execute method to execute an SQL statement. But what would be that SQL statement? Let's define it here. So my SQL would be, I want all the data that is present in CEO details table. So select star from, this is basically this very SQL statement here, select star from CEO details. So I'll just take this, I'll be a bit lazy and paste it here. So once I have the SQL, I want to execute this SQL. once it gets executed, it will have some records with it. So I want those rows, I want all of the rows that this select statement has returned. So I'll use the cursor dot fetchall method, to get all the details. So I'll get it in this variable called as rows. Let's see how the data is returned. Once I have the data, I can then use it in a for loop or in any other way that I want. But first, let's just see how the row data is returned. And over here, if I get any error, I want to say exception occurred while fetching the records. And I'll give the error message here. If no errors are found, I am done with my job. And if no errors are found, I'll basically print out completed. And then in the finally block, I'll just close the cursor. So this is our code. This should work. Let us see. It should return the rows that are there in the table. And yep, it does. So as you can see, it has returned you a list of tuples. So every record over there has been sent as a tuple. So here you have a tuple with Steve Jobs, Apple 56, Bill Gates, Microsoft 64, Sundar Pichai, Google 47, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook 35, and all of them has been compressed and has been kept inside a list, and a single object of list is returned. So when you do print of row, you get a list of all the data which is there. I could have just added some condition over here and it would have written that data as well. So this is how you can use fetchall method to get some data. Say suppose now you want to just work through the data. Let's see a simple example of how you can do that. You can do something like this for, and in that for loop I basically want just the index and the record itself. Right, so for index and record in, I want it from the row variable that I have it, but I cannot use it directly because row will just, it is just a list and it will just loop through each and every row and I won't get an index. So to get an index, I'll use the enumerate method. And in enumerate method will basically attach an index to every row present over here. And then I'll just print index is the index and the record. This is now, there can be any complicated logic that you want to work over here. All the things that you want to do with your data can be done over here. So as you can see, it has given me something in this format now. It says index is 0. So Python starts with 0 being the first element in the list, which is this tuple, and then the second, third, fourth. This is just looping through the row variable that we got. So I hope this video is helpful. Please do let me know if you see any improvements to this videos. I'll make sure that I do that in my future videos. I'm glad you are here till this. In the next videos we'll see how we'll use the fetch one and fetch many methods to work with. This is Kishan signing off. Thank you.